A woman has been arrested after 3 people were shot in midtown Atlanta on Monday. The Atlanta Police Department said it had detained a suspect in the shootings at the city's international airport after evaluating the scene of the crime. However, officers are still investigating why the shooting happened and whether the victims were specifically targeted or simply chosen at random. The shooting began just before 2 p.m. in Midtown, leaving 2 people dead and 1 injured. 41-year-old Wesley Freeman died at the hospital and 60-year-old Michael Shinners died at 1280 West Peachtree Street, and Shinners is from Alpharetta. Both Mr. Freeman and Mr. Shinners were named as defendants in a lawsuit filed by Raissa Kengne earlier this year, claiming that they were involved in a conspiracy against her.
Why I started my own consulting and accounting firm. In 2021, I was retaliated against by my employer at the time, Video USA, LLP. My home was broken into, my computers were hacked, and my phones were spoofed. I reported several violations of SEC U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission regulations, violations of Public Company Accounting Oversight Board standards, and then violations of AICPA standards within the IT audit engagements. Wesley Freeman, the IT audit director at Video, had done a very bad job for more than 5 years. There were significant deficiencies and material weaknesses across all the engagements I was assigned to and was managing, which at the time were 50% of the public clients and 85% of the private clients in the Southeast region. I was severely retaliated against and constructively discharged. My home was broken into. My life and my family lives were threatened not only by Video USA, LLP and its partners and members of its senior management team, but also by their clients. Clients actually threatened me in front of the IT audit principal, Scott Meyer. Furthermore, Video USA, employees and partners leveraged their relationship with people living in my condominium in order to pursue the retaliation at my home. If you are planning to move to a condominium, I would advise that you stay away from one managed by Beacon Management Services. They are not only incompetent, but criminal as well. Anyone who knows me or has worked with me knows my character and my work ethic. Therefore, knows that I am telling the truth. Wesley Freeman is the laziest manager I have had the displeasure of working for. His laziness is only surpassed by his incompetence. How hard is it really to test elevated privileges for systems when you have professional organizations and the SEC already setting the standards for you? You bet I am suing all of them. It is a shame that the 6th biggest public accounting firm has criminals at the top. No one is above the law.
And you say this is precinct 5 for zone 5. And you say you do not do investigation here. You were saying earlier that you do not do investigations. All right. So I think the issue with the report is that Officer Caleb came twice, and I haven't heard back of a follow-up. On the report, she had it as a non-crime, and she was supposed to update that information.
I'm just saying something, supervisor, because I don't handle that. And issues like that, just wait for a supervisor from evening watch to handle it.
All right.
That's a day watch officer, and then I'll be able to better assist you.
Okay. Good.
You asked for a supervisor, ma'am?
Yes, I did.
Yep, how may I help you?
Hi, my name is Raissa Kengne. I gave your colleague the report number. Officer Caleb came to my home in 2021. She responded to a burglary. So once she left, she wrote her report. She gave me that sheet. And when I went to the records department in order to pick up the sheet, the information, the report, the actual report, I saw that she had put that it was a non-crime, even though it was a burglary. I came back here at Precinct 5. I talked to, I don't know if you know her, Officer Caleb. I talked to her supervisor, and her supervisor told me to go to Precinct 1 in order to update the report. At Precinct 1, they sent me to the main location in Midtown. I went to Midtown and they told me no. So I made a request for information. I have videos showing the 2 times that Officer Caleb intervened at my home. Now, I came back here because this is part of a civil lawsuit. The burglary happened in a very secured building, so I am suing the Beacon Management Services, which is the management company who manage the building, as well as the board members, right? Because in order to have access to my building, they needed to have access to a key card, and they needed to have the keys to my unit, right? So only someone with knowledge of where I was, that I wasn't going to be home, could have committed that crime, right? In addition to someone who had access. The point is, now your colleague is trying to give me the phone number to the burglary unit. That's not going to help me, because if the burglary unit does not have a crime to investigate, then they won't tell me anything, right? Is that is that correct? Or
Okay, so what do you need help with?
now I need to know whether or not the report was updated, as because Officer Caleb came twice to my home. I'm guessing she did not come just to visit me, right? She came in order, she dusted for prints. She looked at the safe, right? And I want an update on the status of the report, because it was initially classified as a non-crime. I need to make sure that now it's classified as a burglary, so that the burglary unit can actually investigate. Because if it's not a burglary, if you're saying it's a non-crime, then they're not going to look at it. So the issues start with Officer Caleb not properly documenting that information. And I filed a complaint against her as well. I did. So now I need to know whether or not the crime was, what the report says. Like, was it a burglary? I need that information before even getting a phone number to follow up on that. So that's what I need today.
Okay. All right. First of all, she was called out on a information to officer report. As far as the report read, and I read it, first, it didn't have any forced entry.
It doesn't need to have a forced entry for burglary by law.
Let me talk.
Yes, go ahead.
All right.
Just making that point.
You spoke. Let me speak.
Yes.
All right. So, as far as the report says, it says there was no forced entry.
All right.
All right.
No signs, no visible sign of forced entry.
You have the report. You read it, right?
You say no visible sign of forced entry. Now, go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, so you saying that it needs, right now it's not showing as burglary. And you're saying, let me talk.
No, I thought it was a question. Go ahead.
It's not showing as burglary.
Okay.
And you're saying it needs to be changed as burglary. But if we don't see any forced entry, we cannot change it as burglary.
Okay.
I
reported a crime.
Listen,
I reported a crime.
Okay,
yes.
Man, listen.
Yes.
All right. If you feel like it should be a burglary and you have the information, the video, whatever you told me that you have that could convince this officer that this was a burglary, I don't see no problem in her changing it so they could investigate it. Right?
Okay.
All right?
Yes.
There is no problem with that.
Go ahead.
That's the only thing I could tell you. Okay. And she was going to give you the number for burglary. They could read that report and talk to you about it, and you could give them that information about the burglary that they investigate.
Okay.
All right?
All right. Now, hold on a second. That information report, I specifically told her that it was a crime. I'm a whistleblower, and I told her that information in my safe was taken out. And when there was a flash drive that was dropped on the floor, and she told me sarcastically, well, it's your flash drive. I cannot say that there was a burglary because the flash drive could have, fell off.
What's up? Report? Yeah, I'll hit it back to you. All right. You needed it to bring him to the jail? Okay. All right. I got you. Okay. All right. Go ahead, man. Why are you in my face?
I'm taping.
But back up a little bit.
All right. Sorry.
Thank you.
And I know it's covered with personal space. I just wanted to take a close up. All right. So now you're telling me that the report is not updated and you're not going to update it. You're not going to investigate as a crime. I'm saying, no, let me finish as well. I'm saying it's a burglary. I say it's a burglary. By law, what they did is a burglary. It does not need to have any sign of broken entry, right? Because the board members have, the management has a copy of the keys on file, which are not, I told Officer Caleb as well. Now I am asking you, when someone, when a citizen, right, of the United States of America calls the police and tells the police that someone broke into my home, right? They opened the safe, they broke the safe, opened the safe, took evidence that I had in my safe, and dropped the flash drive on the floor, and they left. The Beacon Management Services and the board members have access to the keys to my unit. Now you're saying that the officer who's respond to that crime, to that call, is not going to document it as a crime? Just because she did not even try to investigate whether there were any signs of forced entry or not. She did not even look at the logs. Are you saying that it would not be called a crime?
93, I copy that. All right, ma'am, like I told you before,
Yes.
in order for the officer, I will not be able to change it for you. Definitely, the officer will have to do it.
What does it say now?
Listen,
What does it say now?
I let you talk.
Yes.
I let you speak, and I listen to you.
Okay, you did.
Now, please,
okay, good.
let me.
All right.
I will tell you straight up, and then you will go ahead and do what you have to do.
Yes.
I'm telling you that for it to be changed to a burglary, you need to talk to a burglary investigator.
All right.
All right? The burglary investigator will determine if it's a burglary or not, and if it needs to be changed, and if it needs to be investigated. All right?
What happened to the prints?
They will let you know. They will let you know
Yes.
if anything further needs to be done. They will call you. They will ask you about all the information that you're asking me, which I cannot answer.
All right.
Right? And then they will further investigate if they need to.
All right.
Okay?
All right.
All right.
So now what I need, right, is to know what happened to the evidence that she collected on the scene of the crime.
Most likely it's in property as evidence.
All right. So now I had confirmation that they were changing the report. I have not seen the changes. I've only seen the initial report that was provided to me.
Okay, I'm going to say it one more time, and
Yes.
that's it, okay?
All right.
She will give you contact information for the burglary.
Okay.
They will determine if it is a burglary.
Okay.
And if it is a burglary, they will change the status as far as from a non-crime to a burglary.
Okay.
After they get all the information, okay?
All right. I will take that road, and whatever happens, happens.
Okay, have a good day.
You too.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Well, can I get the number to the burglar?
It's right here for you.
All right.